All right, good evening, everyone. I am Mayor Shelley Carlson. It is November 10th, 2025, 5:30 p.m. The Moorhead City Council welcomes public input on issues listed on the agenda or of general community interest, time and council permitting. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. If you would like to address the council during the meeting, please fill out a form provided by the city clerk, and I will call you up during the citizens to address the council item on the agenda. You'll need to state your name and if you are a Moorhead resident. The comments submitted if comments were submitted to the clerk prior to the meeting via email or phone, those comments will be entered into record. For more information on participation, please visit the council meetings page on the City of Moorhead website at moorheadmn.gov. We, the Moorhead City Council, collectively and with gratitude, acknowledge the sacred land the City of Moorhead is built upon. We acknowledge the people have resided here for generations and recognize that the spirit of the Dakota, Ojibwe, Métis, and all Indigenous communities permeate this land. With that, could I get a roll call, please?
Ryan Nelson.
Here.
Nicole Matson.
Here.
Heather Niesmeyer.
Here.
Emily Moore.
Here.
Deb White.
Here.
Lisa Borgen.
Here.
Sebastian McDougall.
Here.
Chuck Hendrickson.
Present.
Mayor Shelley Carlson.
Here, and for those who are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, to the republic for which nation under God, indivisible, liberty and
Right, and City Manager Molly, do we have any amendments?
No amendments to the agenda, Mayor.
Thank you. And moving on to the consent agenda, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second, Niesmeyer.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Moving on to recognitions and presentations, we have 3 presentations tonight. The first one is Friends of the Moorhead Library, and I believe I'm going to call on Lisa Bodie.
Thank you, Mayor Carlson. As we've done from time to time the last few months, I am coming forward with some wonderful donors for the Loop, the Moorhead Public Library and Community Center project. And the Friends of the Library is who we're recognizing tonight and thanking. They have just recently provided an additional $12,500 donation after already providing a $25,000 donation. And a number of the Friends of the Library have been very active in outreach to the community for some of the larger donations that have been received. I'll also report to the council that we've raised about $1.8 million in direct donations and pledges toward the project. And as word is getting out, we're getting approached by even more businesses, community members, and library patrons. So we're really excited about that. The Friends of the Library president is Karen Jackowitz, and she's here tonight so that you can thank this group.
I just wanted to say that we're very excited to be supporting the new Moorhead Public Library in the Loop, and we can't wait to move in the fall. I mean, in the spring.
And Karen, before you leave, I know that the Friends of the Moorhead Library have been very active in raising funds for the new community center library. Do you want to just briefly come back and just talk about one of the events that you have there. You just recently won an award for a statewide award for a really cool event that you did in a partnership with Swing Barrel.
Yes, on April 12th, which was the end of National Libraries Week, we had a bookmarked event at Swing Barrel, which also had Zoltar Tattoo doing a pop-up tattoo event, and there were other partnerships, Duck Duck Goose Food Truck and some others. And we applied for the Minnesota Association of Library Friends Evie Nordley Award for Best Friends Project, and we knew we were a finalist as of late July, and on October 11th, I believe, at the Saturday Splash event, it was announced that we won, and we got $1,000 in a very pretty Minnesota-shaped plaque and a certificate, and yeah, so we were very excited, and Sean from Swing Barrel was very excited, and thank you, Shelley, and Emily for coming to our watch party, because we watched the announcement. Yeah, so that was a great event.
And the Moorhead Library always has events, so thank you. And congratulations. And I just know that you guys are continually raising money, so I expect that you guys will probably be back in another year, so thank you. The next presentation is United Way of Cast Clay, and I will call Dan, or
Sure. Yeah. No,
Dan
I'm just going to do
Mallia.
an introduction, if that's okay.
Yep.
Our community, one of the things we do is we nip issues in the bud, and we do that through all kinds of great partnerships. The United Way is one of them. Dan Klug is here to share how the United Way is doing that to kind of meet the needs to people in greatest need and families, and the great work that you do. And this has been, we've been part of this campaign for many years. In Moorhead, I just want to thank Michelle Colbert, who for so many years has done great work kind of coordinating, keeping it positive. This is the one who is like, we've got a kind of an auction going, an employee auction going. Thank you all for contributing and helping create these baskets and put things in. I think, Lisa Borgen, you have a bunch of homemade gifts. That item is up to $70 or $80 already, and it just opened today. Our campaign in Moorhead is opening this week, and we keep it open until Friday. So we're kind of excited and appreciate all you do, and thanks for coming and sharing the story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Dan Klug. I serve as the Major Gifts Lead for the United Way of Cast Clay, but I would be remiss if I didn't first say thank you to the men and women of our armed services. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and it's a day we should remember and celebrate. I'm also a little selfish. My son is active in the United States Marine Corps, and it's their 250th birthday today. So happy birthday to all the Marines out there as well. We are so grateful for your commitment to ending homelessness and the collaborative work that you do with the Cast Clay Interagency Council on Homelessness. So thank you to your leadership and your involvement and your collaboration. We are making a difference. Now, I've got a slide presentation to pull up. I think there we go. And our mission is to inspire and activate our community to improve lives. And how we go about that, I think, is unique and very impactful and very powerful. And it should give everyone in our community confidence to support, to be involved, to volunteer, and to contribute to the United Way. And how we do that is we are a convener. We gather data, federal, regional, local data on poverty, on demographics, on socioeconomics and health data, and we look at those driving forces. How can we end poverty, or at least help those that are in poverty get out of it quickly? So we work closely with civic leaders like yourself, community leaders, corporate leaders. We pull together volunteers. We pull together nonprofit organization leadership, and we assess. And in assessing, we have found there are three key triggers, three key areas that really impact poverty. And we know that if we can focus in on those areas, we can truly do some transformational work. And so we call them our three bold goals: preventing hunger and homelessness, preparing children to succeed, and strengthening families. And we go about that then in soliciting funds from the community. We have over, I think, 200 companies that do workplace campaigns that raise money. We have donors that give $1 per paycheck. We have donors that are giving tens of thousands of dollars annually. We have individuals that give us estate gifts and plan gifts. All of those funds are pooled together and then focused through what we call our Community Impact Review Panel. So what that panel does, last year it was 53 individuals from across the community of Cass and Clay County, representing civic, corporate, and nonprofit, and just concerned citizens coming together and looking at the nonprofit organizations that are submitting requests for funds from us. And what we do then is we train that group of volunteers, and then they go through and read and study and look at and evaluate those requests for funding. And we look at the governance of organizations. We look at what is their past results. We look at what are they stating to do. And then we hold that up in line of our 3 bold goals and look, okay, what is best going to be served in really addressing poverty and really making a change in hunger, homelessness, putting children in a place where they can succeed, and then strengthening families, whether it's mental health, addiction, workforce development. Then that volunteer group makes recommendations to our board of trustees and say, we believe we should fund, like right now, I think it's over 24 organizations regionally within Cass and Clay County that provide 45 different programs right now of services across that spectrum. And what that does is that creates a cohesive services to where individuals in our community that are struggling in various issues can get that holistic care and support they need to get out of the challenges that they're enduring. Because most needs are not just singular. If a person is hungry, they are probably also struggling in other areas. Or if they're homeless, they also have other economic or other challenges that need to be addressed. So then we work with these tremendous organizations that really have gone through that vetting. We call them our verified impact partners. And then they deliver these tremendous services to our community across that spectrum. I want to share some of the results that we've seen recently. Just in the last year and a half, 739 children were enrolled in high quality early childhood development and education. And that is so critical. I don't know if you know, but I have read and been told, I'm not a doctor, but the human brain is 90% developed by the age of 5. Now, what does it take to have a healthy brain ready to go to kindergarten? It needs to be intellectually challenged. It needs to be relationally in a good environment where there's strong relationships and examples of what it means to be a kind, empathetic, caring human being. But it also needs nutrition to be physically strong. So we fund programs that address that, and one of them is that early childhood development. So those children that are experiencing poverty have access and opportunity to those credible programs so that when they get into kindergarten, they can be ready. But it doesn't stop there. When they're in junior high, senior high, we connect over 1,600 children with adult mentors, again, to help to build those positive childhood experiences and learn what it means to be a successful adult. 96% of those children that go through that program are kindergarten ready, socially, emotionally, and academically ready. We're so proud of that. 2,763 individuals were prevented from experiencing homelessness this last 18 months through the work that we fund in these great verified impact partners we have. Over 10,000 children were screened for hunger. 35,000, almost 36,000 families received over 3.8 million pounds of food. It's startling, but 45,000 people in our 2 counties need food assistance. Think of that. 45,000 people. Many of you probably cross paths with them just in your community, but they're struggling and need help. 612 individuals secured employment through the services we funded. 99 individuals improved their employability through degrees in education, and over 2,500 families assessed supportive services that they self-reported improved their well-being by over 80%. So there's tremendous work being done. So you can have confidence that when you contribute to the United Way, you are funding dozens of local organizations strategically to disrupt poverty, hunger, and homelessness, and education, and well-being so that our neighbors, our community can thrive. But in the midst of that great results, there are still challenges. So here's some of the challenges. 1 in 9 individuals, or 28,000 individuals, live in poverty right now in our community. They might even be working, but they're still struggling. Federal poverty definition is a family of four living on $32,000 or less a year. And when you think about that, how do you afford housing, utilities, transportation, school, food, and clothing? Very difficult. And so how do we work with that? 1 in 7 children under the age of 5 are impacted by poverty. What's even more alarming is 1 in 3 children are experiencing hunger in our community. Many children, the best meal they get is when they're at school. And if they go home, they may not have a meal, or on the weekends, they may not have food. So some of the funding that we do with the Great Plains Food Bank, we are so fortunate to have that in our community. They support Clay County, as well as probably close to 80% of the food pantries in North Dakota that help deliver and get food out to those that are struggling. And kids are 3 times more likely to experience poverty if they have grown up in poverty. So it's so important through your funding and the funding of the community that it can strategically disrupt and get those children and those families into the programs they need so that they don't repeat that cycle, but rather are able to then really become a valuable member of the community and tax and work and really contribute to the culture and the health and the vibrancy of our community. Now, I'm going to end on this. 1,050 individuals right now are experiencing homelessness in our community on any given night. Think of that, on any given night. Now, when we talk about homelessness, there was just a tremendous article in the Forum this weekend with our Director of Impact, Taylor Sievertson, along with her team. They're doing such great work with the FM Area Coalition to end homelessness and addressing this problem. And there are chronic individuals that have homelessness. And when we think of it, we probably think of more of that transient population, what you might see in the downtown here in Moorhead or Fargo, or what you might see on the corner of a road panhandling at a stoplight. But that's maybe 10%, if not even, of the homelessness crisis in our community. There are families, there are individuals that you would not know they're homeless, that are struggling. They're living in their car, they're living in their friend's home, they're going from family member to family member, trying to make ends meet and get out of that. And through your involvement, whether it's $1, $5, or $50,000, that can help be the difference to have that disruption and empower and get them the services and the support they need to be able to get out of that path and be able to get into, again, a family-sustaining job and get the housing and the food that they need. The schools, area schools, have reported that 600 students have reported themselves that they're experiencing homelessness. That means every day at Moorhead High or in our vast elementary schools in the community, there are children that are showing up for school without a home. I don't think that's acceptable. And hopefully you have that same feeling of we've got to address and do something about this. And then 16,000 individuals are experiencing hunger, of which 6,400 are children. We want to continue to do this transformational work and see those impacts that I showed you earlier grow in volume to where we really can address it. So if someone is experiencing homelessness, it's rare, it's brief, and it's not going to repeat itself. And so I would just invite you to support the United Way in whatever way you can and what is within your income and your level of commitment. But you know that when you give to the United Way, you can have confidence. 98.5% of those funds are staying local. We send 1.5% to United Way as part of our agreement with them. So your funds are staying here. Our scope is Cass and Clay County, and we address both sides of the river with the same vigor, enthusiasm, and dedication. And we use your funds to make the greatest impact to help force multiply those gifts that it truly can have those results. So you can go to United Way, cassclay.org to learn more about how you can give. You can give online, or if you have questions, you can just reach out to us. We are all passionate about talking about the work and the community that we love and the work that we're doing here. So thank you so much for your time and your support and your willingness to continue to advocate, collaborate, and support the great work that is being done in this community through our leadership, through our donors, and through those wonderful verified impact partners that are delivering the service, and then for us that are trying to just provide some leadership, encouragement, and support along the way. So thank you very much, Mayor Carlson and everyone.
Thank you. You have a lot of very incredible and impactful statistics. The one that I keep looking at, keeps drawing my eyes, is the $3,000 annually to prevent 2 families from experiencing homelessness. Math is $1,500 a year. You know, $1,500 is a lot of money, but yet it's not a lot of money
Yeah.
to just prevent a family from being homeless. So I know that we have a very giving community. You see that with all the food insecurity that people are donating and businesses are donating, and I know that a lot of people are struggling. Do council have any questions at all regarding this presentation or for Mr. Klug? Councilmember Niesmeyer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to appreciate your presentation here tonight. I know Chandler and Taylor visited us, I don't know if it was last year or just this spring, at the stats that they brought were similar, and of the 600 children that were unhoused, the 600 children unhoused in their stats, they did say that 300 were from Moorhead. And so I know that you do collaborative statistics, and I really appreciate that. But I know many people are always very interested in how it impacts their particular close-knit community. You mentioned 45,000 people are in need of food assistance in our 2 counties. I'm curious of the timeliness of that data. I know we have had a lot of changes very recently in our community, and I don't want you to guess or make assumptions, but I'm just curious about the timeliness of this statistic, and if you have any ideas or impacts moving forward. As you said, people who are unhoused often deal with more than one thing, right? It's utilities, it's clothing, it's food, it's a variety. Transportation is something that I hear about all the time. And I'm just curious if you have any idea if how old this stat is and what the impact is for our 2 counties in the immediate future with the recent changes.
That's a great question, Heather. I really appreciate that. I don't have the reference or resource in front of me, but I can get that and work on getting that documentation back to you.
No, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I'm so I struggle so much to receive emails and calls from our residents looking for housing because rent continues to go up, looking for transportation. We have a lot of food resources in our community. There's been a great deal of outpouring from residents as well as businesses, which is absolutely fabulous. But when I still hear that it is not enough to make ends meet, and like you said, a family of 4 lives in poverty by the standards if they make $32,000 or less a year, is monumental when we think about the benefits that those of us who have first jobs and second jobs and we're able to be provided our basic human rights with no struggle. And so I just want to appreciate the work that you and your team do and say that I was very glad to support the City of Moorhead staff in the this week's fundraiser, and I really do look forward to new stats and great outpourings from our community so we can make a difference in the lives of many.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And it's just to touch on that hunger issue. I do know $1 can provide 2 meals through the support that we do with the Great Plains Food Bank. So really cost-effective, tremendous work that they do in sourcing, again, affordable food and being able to get it distributed not only on the North Dakota side, but also in Clay County as well. So thank you so much.
I think that's a great reminder for people who want to like go grocery shopping and add things. I know Coburn's has provided small like little easy grab things so they can easily be donated to Great Plains Food Bank. But that stat that you have, that $1 can purchase 2 meals if the money goes through United Way or Great Plains Food Bank directly, I think is very impactful. So I sincerely appreciate you adding that stat for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Just, I guess, just a call out to the community that if you're able to, please donate to the United Way, and
Thank you.
there's a multitude of ways to do so.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone.
Yep. Our third presentation tonight is Metro Railroad Needs Study, and Brian King. Okay. But you're
Thank
not
you, ma'am.
Brian, so. Okay.
You'll be
I'll
here in just a
just-
second.
I'll just turn it over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Madam Mayor, honorable council members, thank you for letting us present this study to y'all tonight. This study's been a little over 3 years in the making. BNSF approached several jurisdictions, or mostly, I should say, all of the jurisdictions in the region, as well as MetroCog, almost 3 years ago, and inquired about doing this study. And out of those early discussions, this study that I'm not going to read this to y'all, so y'all rest easy on that. This study has come together. All the parties agreed to over 15 rail crossing locations to study throughout the region. And on top of that, just something of interest to the jurisdictions, BNSF agreed to provide the local match for this study. So that relieved all the local jurisdictions of having to provide a portion of that 20% local match to federal funds for that. So that's always a big plus. So HDR was the selected consultant, and they began work on the study in June of last year. And the local office here drew on expertise from offices, from their offices across the U.S. and Canada. So it was a lot of work that went into this study. There was a study review committee that was assembled, and it was comprised of representatives of all the local jurisdictions, of both state departments of transportation, the railroad industry, not only BNSF, but the other railroads in the area as well. And there was a lot of feedback throughout the process. Public engagement was a big part of the study, and we did several, there were a couple of pop-up engagements, including one at the Rourke Art Museum during the Frostival event this past winter in early February. And in the month of July, we had 4 public meetings throughout the region, including, including one here at the Yumcomp Center on July 10th. So we've had a lot of outreach and engagement. We've had pretty much various surveys online to get feedback from the community. And tonight, we're glad to be able to present almost 2 years worth of work to y'all to show y'all what's been accomplished with that. So Brian King is here from HDR, and he's got a couple of slides to present. And I will get out of the way, but we'll be
Road has been identified. It's going to add 4 different locations, accesses to the businesses behind it, and it also will be able to pull people off of Highway 10 when they're trying to make the quick swing between trying to get across 34th Street. Next, moving south, is 40th Avenue South and Highway 52 intersection. Number one, it's a skewed intersection, so the visibility and the safety has been decreased because of that. And in addition, there's not a lot of room between Highway 52 and the crossing. So what we have determined the most cost-effective improvements is to add a turn lane, widen the intersection, add shoulders for bicyclists and pedestrians, and then as well as to pave back onto 40th there to clean it up. In addition, lastly, this crossing would also be upgraded to meet the railroad quiet zone standards, which includes the raised medians, new gates, and additional flashers. So as we move south down to 50th Avenue, right now this is a rural intersection, and so what the improvement would include is eliminating the at-grade crossing with an overpass that we would pave on each side, as well as preparing for the future, add accommodations for bicyclists and pedestrians as well. And so finally down on 60th Avenue, similarly, this also includes improving the intersection by adding an overpass, widening the street so it's safer for bicyclists and pedestrians to enhance for the future growth as the city continues to move southward. So how were these options determined? The preferred alternatives were identified through the multiple account evaluation. This evaluation criteria was developed using qualitative and quantitative data and with the concurrence of the local government agencies and MetroCog. The study review committees and the stakeholder committees helped to weigh these to best reflect what was important in their communities. So as you can see with the percentages there, the magnitude of the project benefits, which you could also loosely call a benefit cost analysis, ranked the highest. And then emergency service access. You know, how do we not reduce delays due to traffic? As we all know, downtown, and once everything cleans up, it's going to be much easier to get around downtown, right? So we try to do that at all the intersections across the metro area. So where we are today, we are in the last week of public engagement and public feedback. The study that Ben's got in front of him is available on their website. If you would like any more details and to provide any recordable comments for that period. So with that, as Ben indicated, thank you for your time, and if the council has any questions, we'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much. Any questions from council members? Councilmember Mattson?
Thank you. One quick question. $2 signs versus $4 signs. What's the range? There were on the graphics. There, two of them had $2 signs and two had $4 signs, and I'm just wondering what the spread is there.
I will get back to you on that. I'm not sure what the dollar range was. Do you remember?
I can't
Yeah.
recall off the top of my head either. Sorry. I'll find out and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
All right, looks like there are no more questions, and I hopefully you'll get a lot of public comment, just so that, you know, people can have an opportunity to give their 2 cents worth, or $2 signs, I guess, as far as, you know, thoughts of which one might be better to focus on.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. Right, next on the agenda is approval of the October 27th, 2025 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Chuck.
Second, Nicole.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. We do have one citizen who wishes to address the council at this time. Mr. DeCray, if you want to come up to the podium. So how this works is this very modern contraption here. You'll get 3 minutes to speak. The button, this will be green while the 3 minutes are going, and then it'll turn red, and if you see it red, you'll need to wrap it up. And then just state your name, and if you are a Moorhead resident, for the record, and then your 3 minutes will start.
Well, thank you so much. My name is Dane DeCray. I am a Moorhead resident. I'm a lawyer, so I'm very familiar with red, yellow, and green, so I'll do my best to beat the clock. I own a law firm in downtown Moorhead. I own some property in Tessa Terrace, and my family and I live just south of the 52nd roundabout. Technically, we're in Kurtz Township, but we still say Moorhead, and so I'm a proud Moorhead resident. My kids go to Probesfield. They're in the Spanish immersion program. My youngest kids go to Little Discoveries. And all that to tell you that while I'm not from here and I wasn't born here, I'm going to stay here. And we are Moorhead Spuds, and we're going to bleed, you know, orange and black for as long as my kids grow up. I wanted to speak very briefly today because it's come to my attention that there are some new hirings that are going to be happening at the Moorhead Fire Department. And one of the things that makes me love Moorhead the most is that it seems like we know how to get things done in Moorhead. The recent levy was passed. My cousin works in West Fargo. They struggled to get theirs passed. He's with the school department. I am very proud that Moorhead always does a very good job of getting things done when it needs to. And I think having new firefighters is important for my business. We live south. I know some times down there are difficult for the fire department to continue to grow. I know Jamie Garvey very well when he used to be in Fargo, when I worked for Earl Pomeroy a million years ago before I went to law school. The point of this is Moorhead sometimes feels, in my experience, like the kid brother to Fargo. One of the ways I think we stop that nonsense is by continuing to grow smartly, invest in our city, invest in our citizens, and invest in our community. My kids are going to grow up in this area. I want them to have safe schools. I want the fire department to be great. I want Moorhead to continue to be great. I know it's a thing that we can get done. I don't think it's a huge ask. I'm very thankful that the board is doing this. I ask you to continue to do that great work. I'm way ahead of schedule. I'm on my way out. I'm going to go coach hockey now. My son's outside. He's a Mite minor. He's been watching my phone. It's time to get over to the Cullen Hockey Arena and do more things for Moorhead. Thank you. I don't think I have any questions. So.
All right, thank you. Thank you. I didn't know we had a minor league for our mites in hockey. Oh. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. We are now down to mayor and council reports. Do any council members have reports that you want to provide to council? Councilmember Niesmeyer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would like to invite everybody to the Solid Waste Advisory Committee meeting on November 20th at 8 a.m. at the Resource Recovery Center's conference room. There we will be discussing on Thursday, November 20th, the stats that Lakes and Prairies from the incinerator co-op that we have with 5 other counties. We will be getting their stats on home trash and what people are throwing away and what we're burning at the incinerator, as well as Clay County has been doing a survey of trash from the same 100 homes for a number of years, and we will be getting both sets of stats. And I think that that's really important because at our last 2 SWAC meetings in September and October, the county is exploring possibilities of organic composting, and it's organic material, not organic like it's grown specially. It's just we find that we have a lot of organic matter historically, and I'm just curious if the stats in November will prove to be the same as we've seen in the past. And I'm really excited that there is an interest in organic waste composting in the city of Moorhead and in Clay County. And so I want to lift that up. On that same train, it is the last week of Take Back Jack. And so if you have any pumpkins that you would like to share into a wonderful composting agreement that the county and the city work towards doing great for our ecosystem, the last day to drop off your pumpkins in the bins that are in 2 locations in North Moorhead and 2 in South Moorhead is November 14th. So you have all week to get your pumpkins off. They might be a little frosty and frozen if they were on your front step this week. It's been a little chilly. But yes, please get those pumpkins to those bins so they can be used for wonderful programs in Clay County. Also, the Association of Minnesota Counties, which is AMC, not the movie theater group. It's something cool. They have an environmental committee, and they have voted to put the #1 legislative priority as solid waste related items. And why I think this is important is because it is funding and policy making for comprehensive and innovative solid waste management systems, including SCORE, C&D management, e-waste, and batteries. I referenced that last council meeting that our work in Clay County is working on electronic waste and safe battery disposal, as well as solid waste capital and waste to energy and emerging technologies. And so I think knowing that the Association of Minnesota Counties is really going all in to really support a number of projects that Clay County and the city of Moorhead are actively looking at, and we do great in our community. And so knowing that is not only taking off just here, but it is across the counties of Minnesota as well. That's something to highlight. There is this Thursday, November 13th, from noon to 1, the Clay County MPCA funds settlement first listening session is Thursday, November 13th from noon to 1 at the Moorhead Public Library. And there are 2 other sessions as well as an online survey. The Yomkamp Center, there's a session on November 19th from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And then the third and last session for this round of community input for what we can do with MPCA or Minnesota Pollution Control Agency funds that we received as Clay County. So what they are looking for in these sessions is input from community members on how we can do great things in the city of Moorhead. The third and last, which I interrupted myself, is at Triumph Lutheran Brethren on November 25th from 4 to 5 p.m. The survey is one question. There are 3 options under that question, as well as an other slot. You can include all of those details. I did visit with Clay County Public Health individual Patrick Hollister, who is facilitating these funds, these settlement funds, and he did acknowledge that all of the input that goes into the survey. And when I visited with him last week, they'd had 96 responses so far, but all of those options that people list in other will also be at the listening sessions. So people can interact with the choices and elect or select their preferences for how they would like to see that $129,000 spent by June of 2026. So I think it's a great opportunity to get involved with the county, and the city has put it out on our socials, which I want to appreciate. So has the county, and so I look forward to seeing many community members there providing input.
Thank you. Councilmember White.
Thank you, Mayor. On 11/6, I attended our planning meeting for the intergovernmental retreat and just wanted to give an update to the council so you can get this on your calendars. The next intergovernmental retreat will be January 30th, and we picked the theme. We're fleshing it out, but it'll be related to how we can improve collaboration between our different government bodies on growth and development. On the 7th, I attended the Clay County Family Resource Center SNAP update, and they just shared a lot of really useful information related to the current accentuated food crisis that we have in our community and at large in the nation. One of the things that they reported is that as of that day, there had been no SNAP benefits issued for November for all of Clay County, and they anticipate, even though we've seen some improvement of things moving ahead, but once they do begin to process them, the county anticipates a 2 to 12 week lag before people actually receive the benefits. We had folks there from Great Plains Food Bank, and they mentioned that they have a government shutdown landing page with information, so that's a good resource if you hear from folks that are looking for information. They've also doubled their capacity at several of their pop-up food pantries, but they're still running out on all of those. The United Way has an online hub that has very valuable information, and even the Sanford Clinic here in Moorhead has opened up a food pantry, and so if you know folks that are going to the Sanford Clinic, if they talk to their medical provider and they are experiencing food insecurity, then they may be able to get access to that. On December 20th, the Life Care United nonprofit organization will be doing a hygiene product drive right here in the Yemcombe Center from 10 to 3, because in addition to food insecurity, that's another thing that, that people are really struggling with is personal hygiene products. And they're looking for volunteers. There's a network. They're putting together a list of places like restaurants and grocery stores that are willing to donate food, but they actually have a shortage of volunteers to pick it up. And so they're looking for more volunteers, particularly on the weekend, that could help to pick up food from the places that are willing to donate it and get it to some of these food pantries, food shelves. So if you hear folks that are interested in volunteering, you can reach out to places like Great Plains, United Way, or the Family Resource Center. On Saturday, I attended Win Liberia's celebration of their 7-year anniversary. If you don't know of Win Liberia, they're a great organization that helps support mothers and youth from our local FM Liberian community. And I just wanted to remind folks that one of my favorite events is coming up this Saturday, and that's Pangea, the Cultivate Our Culture celebration that'll be right here in the Yemcombe. And there are, as always, food performers and other great activities to celebrate the culture of the people in our community. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember McDougall.
Just a quick reminder, besides Pangea, there's another one of the HRCs doing the Cookies with Commissioners this Wednesday at the library from 5:30 to 7. Just want to give a reminder on that, too.
Councilmember Hendrickson.
Thank you, Mayor Carlson. I got a quick text from somebody I looked at. It's people are wondering the locations of the Take Back Jack. They do have an area on the Clay County website that is strictly for Take Back Jack, but I can give you the quick addresses here. In Moorhead, it's 700 15th Avenue North. It's Public Works facility, and South Moorhead, it's 23rd Street South and 40th Avenue, which is by the soccer fields. And then they have one on 418 Elm Street South, and then one at the Resource Recovery Center, 3322 15th Avenue North. So, and then last Thursday I did attend the Red River Basin Commission. You know, it's quarterly meeting, and everything went normal. We did have a presentation by Madeline Luke of the Dakota Resource Council and Stephanie Marinowski, who's a former county commissioner and RRBC board member, and they gave a presentation on confined animal feed operations. And they expressed concerns about potential contamination from large-scale dairy operations, especially regarding water quality in the Red River Valley. So the presentation basically highlighted the cross-border impact of industrial agriculture on shared resources like water. And it's not too far from the Red River, so there's great concern for that. So she gave a really good presentation on that. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you, Mayor. Back on the 28th of October, Mayor Carlson and I attended the Red River Regional Dispatch Authority board meeting. Along with that, following that was the ribbon cutting ceremony for the opening of what we refer to as the Triple RDC, the Red River Regional Dispatch Center. It was a wonderful ceremony and ribbon cutting. We got to tour the facility, and I tell you, it was it's just a spectacular facility. All the staff there, all the dispatchers and administration had input into the facility. So this facility is going to run like it's going to be extremely efficient. There's room to expand. It is just one of the best examples, in my opinion, of the collaboration amongst the government entities in the Fargo, Moorhead, Cass Clay areas. So shout out to all the entities, and Deb, you mentioned about the intergovernmental retreat and the collaboration, and I tell you what, we may struggle at times, but there are other times we just excel, and this is an example of that. The director over there, Amanda Glasso, is doing an excellent job leading the team over there, and her support team with Christy Kansky, Mary Ediger, and Brian Zastapul being the radio systems expert. There just aren't people like that in the tri-state area, I would argue. So we're fortunate. All the agencies, entities are saving. It's I don't know. You can put a number to it, that the amount of dollars that we're saving on working together like that. So great job to all the entities. But it was a great thing. They're going to start transferring over. Start actually working out of there. They're doing some, I guess, last minute touch up, if you will, but they're gonna, I think it was December 3rd, I think it was the day that the 911 calls were gonna transfer over into the new facility. So just in the next few weeks, they're gonna be working out of there 24/7. So it's great to get to that. It's been kind of a long time coming. So, and I can't do the second one. I'll defer to you or city manager.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
Else? Councilmember Borgen.
Thank you, Mayor. I did attend the Moorhead Public Service Strategic Planning Session. It was an evening where we spent about 4 hours talking about the next 5 to 10 years on water and electric, and I think they did a really nice job. First of all, we have a great team over at MPS, but they did a really nice job of talking through some of the potential new customers that could be coming, et cetera. So it was nice to see that they're certainly got it on their radar, so they're working towards that. I also attended the Sanford Community Breakfast in the new Bell Bank downtown building. They have a new community center It's a community gathering space. It's absolutely gorgeous, state-of-the-art, really nice facility. And the focus of the community breakfast was an update on the Roger Maris Cancer Center, and there were 4 doctors that work there and gave us all the updates on the research, the new things they're doing. It was really incredible, and we are so lucky that our community has a place like the Roger Maris Cancer Center. So that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. No other council members? Oh, Councilmember Moore.
Since my last report, I just wanted to say I did a board meeting for the West Central Initiative, and that was strongly focused on our comprehensive economic development strategy. Also had a Laurel board meeting where we talked about reviewing the formula for funding of our libraries and added a new health safety policy. And then last but certainly not least, at the EDA, the Economic Development Authority, we had an incredible marketing update from our team, Lisa Bodie and Kelly Kuntz and Caleb Fugelberg, and just really got to celebrate them and want to just tack on that they're doing such incredible work for our city, and we greatly appreciate them.
All right, thank you.
If you want me to say I went to meetings, I did, but I'll spare you guys. Keep.
All right, thank you. All right. Well, since October 27th, I've participated in 8 meetings. A few to just highlight: League of Minnesota City Board of Directors meeting. We approved the 2026 legislative policy priorities, covering areas that really improve service delivery, local economies, improving fiscal futures, and human resources and data practices. The 12 priorities for 2026, these are in alphabetical order, not necessarily in order of significance, but adult use cannabis, bonding, elections, emergency medical services, employment/human resources, housing, local government aid, local decision-making, local sales taxes, public safety, sales tax exemption on construction materials, and water infrastructure and policies. So for council members or anybody who wants to go and find out more about these specific priorities, you can go to the League of Minnesota Cities website. They have the whole report that you can read through it or download. Just a few things to add to the RRDC board meeting and grand opening. I think just a few kind of fun facts to highlight about the RRDC. This is the only one in the entire country that serves 2 different states. There are 57 agencies that the RRDC dispatchers provide dispatch and call taking for. They handle nearly 10,000 calls every single month, dispatching for fire, EMS, and law enforcement, but it's not just dispatch. They also answer a lot of calls from those entities to provide information, driver's license checks, things like that. To give you guys an idea of how long something like this takes to actually come to reality, where you get to have a ribbon cutting, the discussion about a possible new dispatch center started in 2012, so over a decade ago. And it was in 2021 that our area jurisdictions came together to really get this project off the ground and accumulated in the new dispatch center that will be fully functional in December. So it takes a long time to build an amenity like this and to have all those jurisdictions come together. One of the significant changes that they are making once they switch over to their site in North Fargo is they are going to have a dedicated dispatcher for our area fire departments. They had not done that before, but because but it's primarily due to mutual aid, because they call out. They don't just call out one fire department. They will call out frequently a multitude because of all the mutual aid, and so they wanted to make that adjustment and are dedicating one dispatcher per shift exclusively to work with our area fire departments. The other things I wanted to mention, just wanted to give out condolences first to the family of Millie McLeod. She was a former city council member, served for 20 years, I think the longest serving council member in the city of Moorhead. and was very, very instrumental in moving and assisting Mayor Maury Lanning at that time in moving Moorhead from a city administrator type of a structure to a city manager type of a structure, which is what we have now, and very, very different structures, and helps really elevate the mayor and the council into positions where we are policymakers, and we don't get involved in operations. That was the biggest difference. And speaking with former Mayor Lanning, Millie was quite a force to be reckoned with, and was very, very well respected in the community. So just giving out condolences to that family. The other condolences and that I wanted to share was, I'm just going to read it from the Moorhead Police Department's Facebook site, but we really want to honor the life and legacy of the former Moorhead police officer Brad Skank, who served our department and community with unwavering dedication for 16 years. And those who worked alongside Brad will tell you he was the kind of officer that you wanted. Steady, dependable, and deeply committed. He was more than a police officer. He's a Marine. He was a Master Sergeant in the Air National Guard, a SWAT sniper, a husband, a dad, and a friend. In 2016, Officer Skank was diagnosed with a grade 2 to 3. I am not going to even try to say this. I'm not even going to try. It's a malignant brain cancer. 2 years later, he made a triumphant return to work, a testament to his strength and determination. Just 6 months after his return, though, he experienced a seizure, and another biopsy confirmed the heartbreaking truth that his brain cancer was back. He loved his family fiercely, and even in the hardest moments of his battle with cancer, he showed up with strength and grace and a quiet determination that we all admired, and an incredible, incredible sense of humor. I think he was one of the first officers we had within the department that did some lip-syncing little TikTok or whatever they were about donuts, and he was just a really great guy. His fight was long and courageous. He returned to serve our community whenever he could, and remained a source of inspiration to everyone who knew him. He ultimately had to leave the department in 2021, but even after stepping away from the job, he was and always will be a part of the Moorhead family. Passed away November 8th, 2025, and we want to extend our heartfelt condolences to his wife, Sarah, and their children, Colby, Bentley, and Mackenzie, and also to a happy birthday to his son, who is celebrating his 15th birthday just a few days after his father passed away. But our condolences to his extended family, friends, and all those who stood by him throughout the journey. His legacy lives on in the lives he touched and the community he helped protect. So thank you to him, and I'll turn it over to you, City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to pick up on where you left off. So that Officer Skanks, it was a 9-year battle. These cancer battles are so incredibly difficult, and this is someone who had encouraged, still showed up at events, at the stations, at celebrations, and different things, and encouraged us all to keep going. And so certainly thinking about he has a young family, and Sarah and everybody, all the family at the law enforcement center across our community, he was amazing. I'd also say Millie McLeod was an absolute giant. She was really something. Not only just a real strong leader in Moorhead in Ward 1, but also chaired the League of Minnesota Cities, served on the National League of Cities, and then just went out. And I'll tell you, her manner was so direct and honest, but it also was done in a way that just made you feel cherished, lifted, and protected. We were at the League of Cities conference just a couple of years ago, and she was still sitting right there, and she just hung out all night and was just really part of it. She was something. She was really something, and so she was a good friend too. And then the last thing I'd add is so Councilmember White mentioned the WIN Liberia Network event that happened over the weekend, and WIN stands for Women in Initiative, right? Women in Initiative, Women's Initiative Network, yes, and so. Councilmember White was recognized with the WIN Liberia's highest honor as well for her work empowering women and children across our community for many years. So congratulations to you, and thanks for all you do too.
Yeah, congratulations. We do not have an executive session tonight, and we do not have any new business. So with that, at 6:31, we are adjourned.